Hi, survivors. It's me, Prepper Zan, reporting to you. Hope you guys are doing well because what's going on in this world is not. You guys, it's been a lot of papers and a lot of publications, news outlets as well, and being observative from just people being observant of these days and times. Everyone's saying that this nation's best years are behind us, and I try to remind the public as much as I can. Things not gonna ever go back to being what they once were. A lot of people are still crippled in their thinking, which is very unfortunate, and they're still living the life today that we lived pre-pandemic, but that's not the same type of world in which we're living in. And that's why there's still so many catastrophes. And that's why it's still so many sudden deaths and sudden tragedies and major calamities. Because people, a lot of times, some of this stuff is uncontrollable as far as the weather, the erratic weather, and the inflation. We can't control these things. But as far as a lot of the crime and the deaths and it's just a lot of things that some of these things can be prevented. A lot of them cannot. People are still going out, being around big crowds of people. You still have a lot of people who still live in heavily populated areas, and a lot of people can't just up and move. Because a lot of people, especially in the urban community, they be like, just get out the cities, get out the cities. That's not easy for a lot of people to do. Some people don't have the money. A lot of people don't have the money to do that. They don't have the support. You know, when you go to the country, you have to have transportation. A lot of people in the city, that's why they live in the cities. They don't have, they use public transportation. They don't, really have like the transportation means to be able to commute, right? But a lot of people in these heavily populated areas, y'all, they are experiencing heavy crime, just crazy stuff happening, a lot of car wrecks, a lot of stuff going on in a lot of these big public areas with big public events where there's a lot of people. Big cities like New York City, you're hearing all kinds of stuff ravaged, those kind of communities. So on top of all these other things that we're faced with pre-pandemic, we weren't dealing with all this heavy inflation. We weren't dealing with all these increase on rent prices. We weren't dealing with all these different illnesses, all these food shortages, and high food prices, supply shortages, high supply prices. We weren't dealing with, I wrote some of these things down. Massive debts, massive homelessness, it's just so many different things. Heavy gas prices. I tried to write down some of it. It's always been corruption in P-O-L-I-T-I-C-S, since I can't really say what I want to say here. But now it's more than ever. And now it's like you can see it clear as day. We was not dealing with all these massive floods all at one time, all this erratic weather and crazy weather all at one time. We weren't dealing with most of the things that we're dealing with now. People can't afford to live in their homes, and we wasn't dealing with the crisis at the border. And now we're dealing with all these different things, y'all. It's not going to ever be the same. This nation's best years are behind us. It's things that are going on that's going to continue to be heavy. So that's why it's important that we prepare our lives for this, our minds for this. This stuff is heavy. And I'm telling y'all, I mean, I don't even want to go and be descriptive of some of the things that I've been seeing just in this community alone, what people are going through with family members and losing family members. And my hearts and prayers go out to these people. We need to get ourselves equipped for these times that we're living in. It's not too late. And y'all know that my whole thing is getting your mind right with God, getting your life right with God. Do things that's good for your body. You know, what do they call that? Self-therapy, whatever, being good to yourself, making sure you're eating as healthy as you possibly can, even though I know it's very expensive too. Making sure you're praying, making sure you're fasting when you can, making sure you're journaling. If you don't have nobody to talk to, like a therapist or something, or a friend, make sure you write down things that don't make you feel so well. Exercising. And then, most of all as well, prepping. Growing your own food, storing water, knowing how to purify your water, knowing how to drill a well before the water runs dry. Y'all, we weren't even dealing with that. These things are serious. These things are catastrophes. And they're happening back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. This stuff is happening without a warning. And if you have a tight-knit family, you guys should have a plan. What to do when these things hit you, before they hit you. Like the weather. Y'all, it's so many people being displaced on a daily basis. And I'll talk about that in another video, about something else that just occurred within the last 48 hours, where people are displaced. This is happening like, now it seems like more than ever on a daily basis. So let's just get it together. It's heavy, it's deep. It's not fair. It's not fair what everybody's going through. Even if we're not dealing with these types of situations, we're dealing with all these other things. And it's going to get worse. Everybody just needs to know that. We're not living that same life we used to live, y'all. Where you could just go anywhere and do anything. Or just say anything, for that matter. Times have changed. People have changed. This nation's best years are behind us. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please follow me on my other platforms. If you'd like to support this channel, you can hit the thanks button, or have other links in the description. If you'd like to support, you can just support just giving a thumbs up, making a comment. Or if you'd like to support the allegedly and the good luck with that t-shirt, it also goes back into the channel. Links are in the description for that as well. And thanks to all of you who have done that. Please follow me on Patreon and BitChute, and in my other Purpose and channel. I have land for sale in Texas and bug out areas if you are interested. And if you need these types of places to flee to when the city has just become cities are inhabitable, and you want to get you and your families out. All these products that I'm speaking of, I fully own, from the t-shirts, from the land as well. And you guys, watch this world. Please watch this world. Watch the weather. Smell your water. Boil your water before you use it. Just to remember, the nation's best days are behind us. And keep surviving.